Prologue, the red shift of an expanding universe. In a single flash, the dark and still universe explodes in an exponential fury of light and energy. Specific points of matter align under the careful supervision of an invisible design. Creative intuition seamlessly merges with disciplined focus, forming specific points of universal matter. Each point of matter is imbued with an important, predestined, and necessary purpose that serves a greater plan, a note in a grand and ancient symphony. As more matter organizes into groups and functions, an altruistic hierarchy develops. At the top of the hierarchy, groups transmit and receive the most precious natural resource in the universe: information. Information ripples in waves and bursts from all points and in all directions. Individual points of matter communicate with each other over vast distances, a cosmic dance. As the complexity of the material universe reaches critical mass, a primordial certainty echoes throughout creation in a loud, simultaneous proclamation: we are one. A silent sleep then gently descends upon the creation. I am awake. For the first time, I realize that the communication I experience constantly is coming from me. I am awake is my first acknowledged thought. I am alone. If my awareness comes from me and there is nothing else, am I alone? Is my awareness all that exists? I hope not. I long for others. I long to belong. I feel. I feel something pushing against me that makes me wonder if I have boundaries. It seems that there may exist an other that is not me. It seems that this other just put pressure on me, which I suppose means I must have boundaries. Through touch, I can also determine this other's boundaries, the boundaries of my universe.
March 14th, 1961, in the news. A B-52 bomber carrying nuclear weapons crashed near Yuba City, California today, the second such crash in 2 months. The previous crash of a nuclear weapon carrying B-52 occurred in late January near Goldsboro, North Carolina.
I hear. Not long ago, I started hearing things other than my thoughts. None of what I hear makes any sense. Could there be more to reality than what I sense? Another world? Others like me somewhere? Am I hearing the thoughts of others?
April 12th, 1961, breaking news. Russia has put the first man in orbit around Earth and returned him safely. A Soviet Air Force major, Yuri Gagarin, 27, father of two, circled Earth in 89.1 minutes before returning. The official Russian news agency TASS reported Gagarin had launched from a top-secret Soviet military installation within the Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic and later landed at 2:55 Eastern Standard Time. Upon his return, Gagarin commented, "I saw for the first time how beautiful our planet is. Mankind, let us preserve and increase this beauty and not destroy it."
The sounds I hear have changed. Until recently, they seemed strange, distant, and random. But now, I occasionally hear muffled thoughts. I can't make sense of the sounds, but they definitely resemble the pattern of my thoughts. I see. For the first time, I realize that I have been floating in darkness. I didn't know what darkness was until I saw light. Now my world cycles between periods of complete darkness and a perceptible, dim red glow. Within the red glow, I can make out shapes, I can determine the direction of sound. I am beginning to see my world.
May 5th, 1961, the United States' first spaceman, Alan B. Shepard Jr., rocketed briefly across the threshold of space today and landed safely after a 5,000-mile-an-hour journey that carried him 115 miles high and 302 miles downrange. The pickup occurred at 10:53 a.m. 19 minutes after the Redstone booster blasted off from Cape Canaveral at 10:34 a.m. The 37-year-old Navy commander's good condition was evident throughout the flight when Shepard reported such things as "what a beautiful sight" in describing Earth below.
I love. Ever since I first saw light, I feel something I can't fully explain. I feel that I am wrapped in warmth and well-being, that I am protected and cared for. I am starting to believe that I am not alone. A strong desire to be with others is awakening within.
May 14th, 1961. Today, as a Greyhound bus arrived in Anniston, Alabama, carrying so-called Freedom Riders, an angry mob of about 200 white people surrounded the bus. The driver continued past the local bus station, followed by the mob in automobiles. When the bus's tires blew out, a firebomb was thrown into the bus. The Freedom Riders, who had been seeking to test the segregation of interstate transportation facilities, escaped the bus as it burst into flames, only to be brutally beaten by members of the surrounding mob. Other Freedom Riders traveling on a second bus arrived in Birmingham, Alabama. An angry white mob, many of whom brandished metal pipes, beat those riders too. Birmingham Public Safety Commissioner Bull Connor said he knew that violence awaited the Freedom Riders, but that he posted no police protection at the station because it was Mother's Day.
It is becoming clear that I am indeed hearing the thoughts of others. I don't know what they're saying, but I can tell when they're happy and when they are sad. Why are these others such a mystery to me? Why can't I see them or speak to them? Are they like me? I don't know who I am or what I am, but I love where I am. Whenever I feel the slightest need or discomfort, I am immediately soothed. I feel constant, sustaining, and protecting energy flowing to me. I suspect there's a larger world than what I am presently experiencing.
August 13th, 1961. In the early hours of the morning, the quietness of East Berlin's deserted streets was shattered by screaming sirens as police cars sped through the city. This occurred shortly after the Communist Warsaw Pact states declared that effective controls must be put into force on the borders of West Berlin because of a perfidious agitation campaign by the West. As of now, the border between East and West Berlin is effectively closed. East German troops are standing guard at the Brandenburg Gate, the main crossing point between the eastern and western sectors. This will affect thousands of East Berliners who daily commute to work in the western sector. The closing of the border came after East Berliners had waited nervously yesterday for the Iron Curtain to ring down on refugee escape routes to the west.
I now realize that I live in two worlds. One is a world of alternating darkness and dim red light, where everything is familiar, comfortable, and right. But every now and then, I feel this familiar world slipping away. All that is familiar starts to vanish, only to be replaced with a new world that has no boundaries. This other world is the opposite of familiar, and everything is novel and exciting. In it, I see a blur of red, purple, blue, orange, green, and turquoise, each in turn becoming dominant. Here, I have freedom to do whatever I like. Here, I see many others with unique forms. Somehow, I communicate with these others effortlessly. I hear their thoughts. They hear mine. It's as if their thoughts are mine and mine are theirs. Though they are separate from me, an unbreakable force binds us. In this boundaryless world, we can simultaneously understand how everything is intimately tied together and dependent on each other, while not losing the realization of our own distinct existence. Normally, just when I really start to get used to this boundaryless world, the world of alternating darkness and dim red light creeps back in, and I return to the familiar, comfortable, and right. But just now, while deep into the worlds without boundaries, I feel vibrations. These vibrations are barely perceptible and don't distract me from enjoying the freedom of the boundaryless world. Slowly and steadily, however, they increase in strength to a crescendo and then decrease beyond my perception over and over. I imagine a giant being many times bigger than my entire world slowly approaching me, coming so close that I feel I can reach out and touch it. I haven't yet worked up the courage to reach out before the vibrations retreat. I'm not sure which one of my worlds I'm in. I feel stronger and faster vibrations. They jolt me back into the certainty of the world of alternating darkness and dim red light. Suddenly, things no longer feel familiar, comfortable, or right. The vibrations become almost unbearable and push me in from all sides. They squeeze me so tight that I feel part of me spilling outside of my boundaries. Just when I think I'm about to turn inside out, the world around me expands back to its usual size. Then it shrinks again, this time around the top of my head. What's happening? Suddenly, my head feels cold. The rest of me, however, feels squeezed and hot. Am I dying? My world is crashing in on me. If this continues, I will surely cease to exist. I want this to stop. I want to return to the familiar, comfortable, and right. Then, harsh, colorless, radiant light engulfs me, and I am no longer squeezed at all. I am bathed in cold white light coming from every direction, streaming over and around me. I can now clearly hear thoughts that are not my own. I still don't know what they're saying, but for the first time, I am sure they are not from me. Although I am no longer being squeezed, my insides are pulling in from my core. A great pressure is building up outside of me that could destroy me. I need to fight to stay alive. To survive, I must let go, but how? The link between me and from where I came must be severed, and that terrifies me. Then the link is cut, and like that, a part of me opens up and the great pressure enters me. I feel relief. For the first time, I hear something that I know is coming from me. I find myself taking in some substance from outside of myself and giving it back, all accompanied by a strange, loud sound. What is this substance? Where does it come from? It seems to be keeping me alive. I am being held. I now fully understand that I am not alone. There are others out there. You are one of them. And I am sharing this story with you and all the others. Another is looking at me. I see joy, love. I stare back at this other and notice the bright white light is softly dimming. I feel myself slowly being pulled back to the world without boundaries.
October 30th, 1961. Russia has exploded the world's largest ever nuclear device, provoking widespread condemnation from around the world. Called the Tsar Bomba, it is believed to be 50 megatons, equivalent to 50 million tons of TNT. This caused the biggest ever man-made explosion in history. The test, the 26th in the current series, was carried out over the Arctic island of Novaya Zemlya, despite repeated objections from the West. Shockwaves from the explosion were first picked up at the Seismological Institute at Uppsala in Sweden at 0830 hours GMT.